Hello and welcome, PocketWatch here, and it's about time for another episode of Umineko. So, I had a little time to clear my mind, and I'm ready for what's going to happen next. And I'm sure everyone knows. So, let's go and see that. Maybe I did wrong ending the episode there. I don't know, because you didn't comment. Yeah. Also, yeah, like, never mind. So anyway, just last time it felt like it would be 2-hour episodes, so because I don't know, I don't think I can stop after seeing that scene. Well, let's see how it plays out. Also, my microphone is a bit too loud again. I need to get it out. Okay, should be fine. Count guard, then read the wire cutter and approach the door. He don't want to get close to this disturbing magic circle, and he really don't want to touch the steadily dripping substance that looked like blood. But if he didn't get close, he wouldn't be able to cut the chain. Fighting this cold feeling, he gulped again, and after gathering his courage, he went even closer, putting the wire cutter up against the chain. He then pressed with all of his strength, managing to cut through the chain far more easily than he would anticipated. The cut chain fell into two separate parts, which continued to clang as they swayed back and forth. Yep, we all know that. We still don't know what's the inside. That's one of the parts of reasons why I thought this will be like another hour. Yeah, because the content of that. It looked like Kumasawa had also noticed the western envelope at the bottom of the door, and that the sealing wax has been sealed with a head ring. Kanon hesitated for a second over whether he should open the letter first or check inside the room, but he eventually decided to fulfill his original purpose. Kanon pulled a handkerchief out of his pocket. Very smart, same as Genji. This was so he wouldn't leave fingerprints on the door, yep. If these worst fears have realized, the police would want to investigate this room too. He slowly pushed the door open. Okay, I'm ready. He was able to more clearly hear the sound of television, which had been seeping out faintly this whole time. Eva was lying face up on the bed. On the bed, with her shoes still on. Kumasawa, who had fearfully entered the cannon, who was hiding behind his back, screamed short. Again, when she saw Eva like that. Where's Hideyoshi though? They didn't realize... Is there Hideyoshi in this room? I wonder, what happened to him? I would say that he would lie next to her, and that would be like fucked up dramatic. Eva's shoes had been the first part of her that Kanon had been seen, so the oddness of wearing shoes in the bed was the first thing to strike him. But when Eva had shifted into his line of sight, Kanon couldn't help but let out a short scream, like Kumasawa. As like half of her face ripped off, like on the other. Right in the middle of Eva's forehead, something had been placed. Okay, you got my curiosity now. Also, if you're at this part, I want to let you know what is more important for a YouTube video beside likes and subscribes. The most important thing are comments, because this helps the channel grow, you know? It helps the algorithm of the YouTube to propose the videos to other people. So let me know in the comment if you want to if you got to this part, I mean before this part, you accepted like Eva and Hideyoshi being dead. After the first bunch of people died, did you expect that another two people will be Eva and Hideyoshi, or you just had no idea and that caught you by surprise? I wonder if you realized beforehand or figured out. Something was growing there, okay. Okay, what? No. Right in the center of her forehead. Oh. Was it an old-fashioned knife? Okay. Okay. That or some weapon like it was sticking out. At the base of where it was struck, blood dripped down, staining the sheets on the other side bright red. Okay, I did not expect that kind of death. But it isn't like what Butler wanted. You know? Because she could... Like, I know it's like basically not possible, but they could assume at this point that she just committed suicide together with Hideyoshi. Maybe they had like breakdown. They had talk and they broke or something. Or maybe they can assume that Hideyoshi killed Eva and then he killed himself, or other way around. So this knife doesn't prove that this is Beatrice's work. Unless there will be something more. Because they could get knife from kitchen. They wasn't followed to the room before. Yeah, they were alone. Yeah, so they can assume that they went to the kitchen. But why would they go to the kitchen for the knives then? Okay, that doesn't make sense. Kumasawa knees gave way once more and she sank down on the floor. Her mouth kept flapping open and closed, but she couldn't even scream. Also, this is new soundtrack, I believe. Eva was dead, with some kind of weapon sticking out of her forehead. Both eyes were wide open, and the image of the person who killed her must have been burnt into them. And I heard the tip. Let's go. Okay, only she appeared here because we still don't know his condition. Found on the bed in the guest room inside mansion with a weapon resembling an ice pick sticking out of her forehead. Okay. But the only mouth capable of naming the person has been shut for all eternity. I wonder whose soundtrack is that? Even though her forehead was the last place they wanted to look, they couldn't tear their eyes from it. Right there, the weapon was struck into Eva's forehead, standing almost perfectly upright. And on the handle was a complicated design that you wouldn't expect to see on an ordinary weapon. That thing could be summed up with the word occult. Okay, this makes more sense now. Like to be looking like something that a human couldn't. Because this knife is not from this place, basically. It was a vulgar object with a design that might have been some of demon. Yeah, what about Hideyoshi? Eva was on the top of her bed, but the other bed was empty. Where was Hideyoshi? After taking a backward glance at Kumasawa, still on her knees and stupefied, he checked the bathroom just in case. At the moment he opened the door, he was greeted by steam and sound of the shower. Oh my fucking god. Okay, it's empty. The bathroom was of the same familiar style as the hotel bathrooms. When taking a shower, a waterproof curtain was used to keep water from flying out. Okay, never mind, he's dead. The waterproof curtain was half open. Oh shit! Oh, okay, it's definitely not a weapon for... It's definitely not a kitchen knife. Fuck! Okay, I need to reshuffle my ranking of characters then, because 2 of them died. 2 of the highest ranking characters. I mean, Eva was like top 3 definitely. Hideyoshi not really, but he was cool. The waterproof curtain was half open, and lying tumbled down in the bathtub was Hideyoshi, completely naked, with his both eyes open, and pointing right at Canon. Just like Eva, a weapon with a demon-like design was struck into his forehead. Since his head had been under the shower hot water this whole time, his face wasn't half covered in filthy with blood like Eva had been. But the sight of him dead, while still taking a shower, was tragic enough. Yep. Oh wow! See? This is cool shit! Just look at that. First of all, we just read that. Okay. You can see the... By looking the gap through the door, what the change said. You can see them, so we can't reach them. Hey, how could a human possibly kill them? And this is love of the evil Maria. Like a little possessed Maria, you know? Or the sound of Beatrice. I don't know. But this is how Maria's laughing when she talk about Beatrice. So basically Maria told Beatrice to kill them that way. That proves it, definitely. I can just, like, you know, I don't know, I can't imagine, like, George's reaction for all of this right now. I feel like he would blame Maria or something. Maria will goddammit. Maria will tell, probably, Butler that you asked for it to make accident like that. And actually maybe George will blame Butler then, if he hears that. Like, blame him that you wanted the accident to happen. That would be like fucked up, and taking up that his emotional state was wavering a lot since Shannon's death, then this is gonna to fuck him up so much. Even though I believe in him, I want to believe in him. He have like great personality, he's always calm and trying to figure stuff out. So maybe he will not break. I think Butler is more like breakable person, more emotional like. He's more like logic stuff. Okay, let's go, because we can't have me talking about 1 hour for, you know, 10 minutes of the story. That's not how it works. Just then, they heard Natsuhi's voice coming from Hall. She was probably coming with Genji. Yep. As Natsuhi said that, she picked up the envelope. And before checking the contents, she entered the room herself, where she found Eva, dead.
エヴァさん、奥様。こちらには秀吉様も。
I thought I was ready, but I'm not really. I mean, I'm kinda ready.
すごいですな。
カナ、シャワーを止めてあげなさい。気の毒にも程があります。はい。
Count gripped his handkerchief and twisted the valve, turning off the shower. In the bathtub, a small jar of body soap had fallen with its cap off. It really looked like he would been attacked while taking a shower. Wait, I thought that this is new soundtrack, but isn't it like Crazy Maria soundtrack? Didn't we hear that before? There was still a small splash of blood clinging to the white bathtub, and the combination of red and white made a horrible contrast.
わかった。
Yeah, just figure out when they died.
市販は出とらんだ。死後硬直も始まっとらん。おそらく殺されてから1時間経ったかどうかというところだろう。
Wow. The actress even thought about time of death. Like, kill them. Like, leave so little time that, yeah, there's no other possibility. Okay.
しかし、このような柄の短い凶器で頭蓋骨を考えられん。
Manju checked their pulse and their pupils, making certain of their deaths once more. As Calvin watched this business-like treatment, he thought, couldn't you tell at a glance that they are dead without doing all that? Probably, but that's, you know, medical assessment you have to do. Manja thought about removing the weapon, but then decided it would be better to preserve the scene and hand it over to the police, so he left it alone. But a close inspection of the base showed that it didn't have a blade. In fact, it was more conical than blade-shaped. Oh wow, so it's not even like... it's even really hard to actually stab with it. And it actually goes through the skull. What the hell? He noticed that rather than a knife, it was more like a short-handled spear. Some a shape better suited for thrusting than slicing. Okay, so maybe... yeah, I thought like it's a blunt weapon with... I mean, spear but with the blunt ending. That would be like, really like, how the fuck it would get in. But that makes some more sense. Rather than a short spear, you might call it thick ice pick. At any rate, after looking at this scene, no further words were needed to describe what sort of terrible purpose such eerily designed weapons were originally made for. Nor was it necessary to explain how they carried out their function. Natsuki, hoping to escape the repulsive steam filling the bathroom as soon as she could, covered her mouth with a handkerchief and dashed from the room. Just viewing their gruesome bodies for an instant had begun enough to burn the image in their eyes. If she looked any longer, that image would surely remain in her vision for all eternity. And she can't shoot any headshots anymore. I'm sorry, I just had to. The rising urge to vomit was exactly the same feeling she had that morning at the gardening storehouse. For a while, Natsuki couldn't help but stand, with her back facing the guest room, fighting that sickness in her stomach. I feel like George is already on the way.
ジョージ君に見せるわけにはいきません。至急この部屋を閉じなさい。ええ。 見せられませんとも。
Yeah, it will be tragic enough to let him know that they died. But on the other hand, he would like to see his parents. Well, he can see them after they remove the tools that they were killed off. I think that would be better actually, yeah. For his like emotional state.
両親のこんなむごい姿をとてもジョージさんには。
Yeah, in the state. But they could tell that those fiercely racing footsteps in the hallways belonged to George. Yeah, even before he came dashing into the room. Well, fuck. George and the other children had been waiting in the parlor. However, when they saw Genji speak to Natsuki, when they saw her turn pale and fly out the parlor, they would feel a sense of foreboding. And when they saw a large group of people gathering around the guest room, they were sure of it.
父さん
Also, that's interesting. His first person he's like worried about is Hideyoshi.
母さん
Or maybe that's just an accident, but that's just like small detail here.
なんだよこれ。
Ah.
魔法陣かよ。
And Maria is like, what the fuck is wrong with Maria? Seriously. There's like fucking brutally murdered people. One in the bathtub, one in the bed, and she's like, whatever, Beatrice killed them. What can you do? It's just her will. Like, whatever. I don't understand why you're so angry and sad. God, I think Maya will be my top one overall. She's very complicated. She has a very complicated personality. And a lot of mysteries around.
エヴァおばさんたちは無事なんだよな
Are you really telling that, Butler?
おいカノ君これは何の騒ぎなんだ
バトラ様。
Wow, his shock. Count didn't have to say anything. George screamed after he ran into the room and told them everything they needed to know. Yeah, I figured that out, he would break. But it will be short time, I believe. I hope so. Because as I said, I believe that he's more like logic person. He's not driven by emotions a lot. I don't tell that he doesn't have emotions, but he can calm down faster than Butler.
誰がこんなことを殺してやる殺してやる
Actually, when I think about this now, before he lost his love, that he didn't really get answered before, and now he's in the even worse condition than Butler. Because Butler, at the beginning, lost both of his parents. He went through what George is going through now. And George had it worse because last night he just lost Shannon and now he lost both parents. So maybe I'm wrong and George will break more, way more than Butler. Maybe Butler will have to kinda save him. He's not going to trust anyone. Natsuki touched George's shoulder with her hand, but he violently shook her off. Yep. He can't be sure who is the killer. George fell over beside Eva and buried his face in the bed in front of her mother's face, wailing. Then he pounded on the bed with fists over and over again.
ジョージ兄さん。 しっかりバトラ様
What's going on, Butler? Butler had his back against the wall of the hallway and was covering his eyes with his right hand and weeping without restraint.
心に決めた女を婚約した次の日に失った。
Yeah, that's what I said. He have way worse than Butler. I just realized that.
同じ日に親父とおふくろまで殺されるなんてよ。
Yeah.
あんまりにもむごいじゃねえか。
I think in this episode we lose George the way we knew him before. Of course it's sad whenever anyone dies, no matter who it is. But to Butler, those left alone by the deaths of others were far more worth of pity. Everyone here now had lost someone close to them. George wasn't the only one to be pitied. However, George's pain was far greater than everyone else, yep. You're right, Butler. I didn't realize that in the last episode, but I figured out in this one.
バトラ
I was ready for this episode, but yeah, figuring out that you have way worse faith than anyone else is like...
そりゃよ、人はいつか死ぬぜ。人間誰だっていつか死別の悲しみと戦わなきゃならねえ日が来るだろうよ。でもよ、そいつは兄貴にとってはずっと未来の話で、しかもそいつは一つずつ順番に訪れるべきもんじゃねえかよ。
Yeah, double the sorrow, or triple in his case.
無ごすぎるぜ。やろうやろう。少しは人の情けってもんがねえのかよ。
Yeah, I still feel like Butler is in the path of revenge for everyone, not only for himself. And Maria is like, oh, you asked for that, Butler? What are you talking about?
バトラ、泣かない泣かない。
Oh my god. Yeah, Maria, yeah. We know you're crazy. Want to say B word, but yeah. I don't think that's appropriate to her, actually. Maria tried to comfort Butler in a mechanical sounding voice. Butler violently wipes his tears.
くそ、もう流さねえぜ。悔し涙も悲しみの涙ももう二度と流さねえぜ。
He's going on the rage. Again.
ああ、全然ダメだ。
You know what I feel? I feel like Butler is growing into like... slowly, I mean... He's nowhere near there. But I feel like slowly, very slowly, Butler is going into path of like... antagonist of the series. Maybe that's the case on the Umineko. What if Butler rage and obsession for revenge will make him antagonist at the end? I don't know how it would play out, because I don't know. It's just like my random thought. Because he kinda sound like a villain. Like, something like someone who just had a point in their life that turned them 180 into being bad guy. This sound like that. So that's my random thought.
俺たちは魔女様に爪を食らってるわけだ主勢一方ってわけだそりゃダメだぜ全然ダメだチェス盤がひっくり返っちまうぜ野郎は俺たち羊が明日まで逃げる手段もなく怯えてるだけだろうと思ってるだろうよだからひっくり返すぜ明日までこの島から逃げられねえのは野郎も同じだしょんべんちびりそうになりながら逃げ隠れするのは俺たちじゃねえ暴いてやるぜ必ずな明日までいや明日なんか待たねえ今夜だ
That's kind of resolve you have.
今夜中にその胸ぐらを掴み上げてやる
You can't touch her. Something that's not physical.
とにかくこの部屋は警察が来るまでこのままにして施錠します。いいですね。
So sometimes just Natsuki announced it as though she didn't care whenever they agreed or not. If anyone had the right to object, it would have been George, but he looked as though he would shed enough tears. He's probably like, you know, just a shade right now. Like, just staying there, looking blindly in the far. Being like, whatever, everything. George nodded slightly, still facing away from the others. And when he stood up, everyone else agreed to. Natsuki still hadn't opened the western envelope of the family hat that she would picked up. But now that they would decided to leave this room, she decided to unseal it in the parlor, where everyone could watch. As soon as they walked out into the hallway to head back to the parlor, some of them immediately felt something out of place, or maybe sensed something strange. Okay. Oh, we have Maria's like evil demon. Yes, Maria, I want you to read that.
答えよ
Wait, what?
マリアもわかるか
Wait, what if Beatrice want to prove even more that she's alive? Like that, I mean, not alive, like a true being. What if she somehow transported dead bodies from the storehouse to the parlor behind the door? And this thing is like, you know, decomposited like dead bodies. Oh, for fuck's sake. This is like, oh my god, this episode.
こりゃ何の匂いだよ
I feel like that's the only thing that I can think of. When everyone sniffed the air, they did notice a horrible burnt smell drifting through the hallway. One that none of them had smelled until then. Okay, so she didn't transported, but the burnt smell. Wait, do we have another death? I don't think that's possible because of the epitaph. Tear apart the two were close. Wait, does make sense! Just look at the third one. Those who remain shall prize my noble name. So basically at the third night, they will all believe in Beatrice because of what's happening right now. That's so good! Oh my god! I didn't realize. So third night is probably safe. Oh shit. Also, what I thought, like, who could die? Who wasn't in the room? Nah, everyone was, right? I thought like maybe someone was in the kitchen and got burnt to death or something. Oh, this story is making me like, oh my god, this is so great. Such a great visual novel. I'm glad I started that.
私ちょっと厨房を見てきます。火はちゃんと消したはずなんですよ。
After noticing a burnt smell, it was natural that Kumasawa, who had been using the burner in the kitchen, suspected that her own slip of hand caused it. Kumasawa hastily dashed away. Okay, Genji is with them. So... yeah, so why I think that's not possible, that under death is possible, because only 2 were supposed to die. Or maybe someone get... no, everyone is together. Even Nanjo was with them, right? Or he left before? We had a little bit time skip, so maybe Nanjo left? Maybe he's not like burnt to death, but maybe he's like heavy injured? After nodding at Genji's order, Kanon followed after her. He wasn't running, but as he followed her, he tried to search for cause of the smell in the other directions as well. Okay, I know I'm talking a lot. Other possibility is that Beatrice transported one of the bodies into the kitchen and burned it. That's like really fucked up thing.
臭い。
これは確かに鼻が曲がりそうな匂いですね。しかし換気のために窓を開けてもいいものか。
Natsuki was reluctant to open the windows in a situation where self-defense was so important.
換気扇を回させましょう。窓を開ける必要はないと思います。
ジョージの兄貴、話しかけても大丈夫かよ。
犯人を探す相談なら構わないよ。
Wow. His eyes are so empty right now. Let's just not talk about my parents, just talk about the culprit. It seems that George had managed to climb out of the abyss of sorrow. Yeah, I said like he will just make it fast. But yeah, God damn it, this whole situation. All that filled his chest now was the quiet flame of hatred towards the culprit who had stolen the lives of the one he loved and his beloved parents.
部屋にはチェーンがかかってた。さっき構造を見たが、とても外から細工できる代物じゃねえ。つまり完璧な密室だったってことだ。
そうなるね。バラ庭園の倉庫の時はシャッターの鍵を使用人室からこっそりと持ち出したのだろうとか、あるいは複製の鍵を持っていた可能性とか、いくつか方法が想像できた。でもチェーンは違う。チェーンは一般に浸透した施錠方法の中で最もシンプルに密室を構築できる。
Yeah, but you still have like envelope to read.
チェーンだけは物理的に破壊しない限り外からはどうにもならないぜ。じゃあつまり犯人は扉からは出入りしなかったってことなのか。
Yep. And the window was closed as well, probably from the inside.
こりゃ面白いや。
That's what he wished for,
つい数時間ほど前
Butler.
にも扉以外でどうやって部屋から出入りしたのかってみんなで騒いだ気がするぜ。
Back then, we were all losing our cool, wondering how grandfather had disappeared from his room. The receipt and Eva, stuck in the door on a whim, proved that the door had remained sealed. And since Aunt Natsuki was the only person to enter and exit during that time, she was under suspicion. Aunt Eva proposed a theory about Aunt Natsuki might have thrown grandfather out the window and left by the door herself. But this door is much simpler. It was sealed from the inside by the door chain. The window had also been locked from the inside, and the bodies had been inside the room. This time it really had been, without exaggeration, a true closed room. That's right. If you include grandfather's disappearance, 3 cases have occurred, and all 3 times the door has been the point of interest. The first was the shutter. There was a key in the servant room, and if we assume someone knew about that, this can't really be called a closed room. Next was the door sealed by the receipt. However, Aunt Natsuki entered that room, so if grandfather had left through the window or been thrown out, she would have been able to lock the door before escaping. Or like my theory, grandfather could have hidden until the receipt was gone and left the room later. Basically, this door can be defeated with a handful of desperate tricks. In that case, you really can't call this one a closed room either. And now we have the door sealed with a door chain. Finally, we have to give up. The window, the door, everything had been locked. It was a perfect closed room. The first hadn't been a closed room because everyone could suspect. The second hadn't been closed room because Aunt Natsuki could be suspected. But this time, no one can be suspected. It was perfectly closed room because the door chain formed a seal that blocked everyone equally well.
なら、犯人は室内に入らずに犯行に及んだ。
You have her right behind you.
部屋の外から何らかの方法で。
確かにチェーンである以上、人が通れるほどは開けなくても多少の隙間を開けることができる。
Possible. You can open this one. Oh yeah, okay.
ノックして顔を覗かせたところを襲うとか。
No, that's not possible, Jessica, because Hideyoshi was taking shower and Eva is like lying on her bed, basically.
いや、甘いか。
甘いよな。
Yeah, the poses,
エヴァ
for
おばさんの
example.
遺体が扉のすぐそばだったなら、それも考えたぜ。
Yep.
だが、エヴァおばさんは部屋の奥のベッドの上。しかも、秀吉おじさんはバスルームだった。チェーンの隙間からでは、姿を見ることもできねえし、手を伸ばすこともできねえ。ちくしょう。全然ダメだぜ。さっぱりだ。
Sammy was tugging softly at my sleeve. It was Maria. Yep, you asked for it, Butler. We will have like evil Maria again? Probably yes. Yep. Oh my god, I love Maria.
満足って何がだよ。
My little witch. What do you mean satisfied? Yeah. There she is.
バトラは親族の誰かを疑うのが嫌だから、犯人はベアトリーチェであってほしいと願ったよ。だからベアトリーチェは叶えた。バトラが言った通り、絶対に人間には無理なことをして、バトラに魔女の存在を信じさせてくれた。なのにわがまま。
It is, kinda. Oh shit. Okay. I thought Maria was laughing unpleasantly on the head with my fist.
ああ、叶えてくれてありがとうよ。今のはその礼と、不謹慎な時に笑ったことへの教育的指導だ。
Oh my god. Okay.
それより教えやがれ。エヴァおばさんたちの部屋の扉にも、また怪しげな落書きがされていた。
Yeah, explain that to us, please.
あれもまた魔法陣なの
You
か。
are the only one who knows that stuff right now.
あれは特に覚えやすい特徴的な形なんだから、あのくらい知っててほしいね。
No one knows the dark magic, you know?
あ、いて。
Beside Kinzo.
知らねえから花を持たせてやってんだ。ごちゃごちゃ言わねえで解説しろい。
バトラは暴力的だね。あんまり意地悪すると教えないよ。
Oh my god.
あ、いて。言うよ言うよ、このげんこつ男。
Okay, after all, she's still just a kid.
あれは月の1の魔法陣だよ。
First magic circle of the moon.
何の意味がある。その魔法陣のご利益は、書かれてるヘブライ語の意味は。
記されているのは旧約聖書詩編第107編の16節。主は聖堂の扉を破り、鉄の栓抜きを打ち破ってくださいました。魔法陣の効用は2つ。一つはいかなる方法によって閉ざされた扉でも開くことができる。
Okay.
そりゃ便利な魔法だぜ。つまり魔法の力に頼らなきゃ開けぬ密室の扉っていう魔女様のアピールってわけか。
Yeah,
もう一つの
basically.
効用は、
開かぬ扉を八方塞がりの事態に見立て扉を開く。
Oh, so it's basically automatically opens the door for you.
難解な事態の時に用いることで、それまで思いつきもしなかった解決策を与えてくれるんだよ。
Okay. So, is there a solution that human could think of?
平たく言うと、観察力や洞察力、ひらめきや直感を授けてくれるんだね。ベアトリーチェはバトラごとき人間風情に、この扉の開き方がわかるものかって挑発してるんだよ。
Oh, I feel like Beatrice will be surprised. I feel like Butler will figure that out.
よーし、もう黙れご苦労。上等だぜ。その魔女の挑戦受けてやら。
マリアちゃん、この世に魔女も悪魔も存在しない。父さんと母さんは誰かが殺した。それが僕のよく知る人間なのか知らない人間なのかはわからない。
Justin don't believe it, really?
でもそのどちらであっても必ず人間なんだ。
しかしどうやって、せいぜい10センチ程度しか開かない扉の隙間からどうやったら室内の2人を。
Okay, so they still need to get conclusion to get everyone believe in Beatrice for the third night prize her name, basically.
それにしても耐え難い匂いです。一体何事なのですか？
Count Kumasawa had gone and on ahead realized the smell wasn't coming from the kitchen even before they arrived there. That was because they noticed an even thicker wave of stench rising up from the stairs leading to the basement. Okay. Which they passed on their way to the kitchen.
ボイラー室。
またボイラーの調子が悪いんでしょうか。
Those stairs led to the underground boiler room. The mansion boiled was in old and poor condition. Both of them had witnessed problems with the boiler on several occasions, but they had never smelled the boiler belching out stench out like that.
今の音は。
What the hell is happening in this show? I mean in the story, in this game. The thing they heard from the basement was definitely the sound of the door closing. Kumasawa had phrased it as a question, but she already knew it couldn't be anything else. Kumasawa was so surprised at the sound that her knees gave away yet again, and she covered. After all, at the very moment, no one could have been in the boiler room. Just a few seconds ago, everyone had been crowded together around Iva and Hitayoshi's room. So who caused the sound of the door closing just now? Yeah, Beatrice is giving like more and more signs, not depths, but signs of her presence, so everyone will believe in her. After taking a second to sort out the situation, Canon ran down towards the basement, since they would hear the sound of the door closing just now, and there was no sign of anyone coming up the stairs. The person who would close the door had to be inside the boiler room now. If the boiler room had been dead end, Canon would have rushed in so hastily. But Canon was a servant, so he knew. There were two entrances to the boiler room. One that opened to the mansion, and one that opened to the courtyard. If he didn't chase them now, they might slip away. Kumasawa reached the same conclusion long after Canon did. But she couldn't let him go alone. If the thing in the boiler room was the culprit, an opponent who had easily killed 6 adults in the first murder, then no matter how Canon confronted them, he wouldn't be a match. Of course, with this argument, even if Kumasawa joined him, it wouldn't change anything. At any rate, after a delay, Kumasawa decided she mustn't let Canon go alone, and she rushed down the stairs. Should I end now? Nah, I think I will just continue. Because I was talking a lot today. At the time, Canon was already in the boiler room. The boiler room's characteristic damp heat tormented him. It had always been an unpleasantly smell and hot place. And on top of that, the room was full of that horrible stench, which made Canon feel like he was going to be sick. Yeah, and I still want to know what the hell is the stench. There was no doubt that this room was the source. In that case, Canon should have been searching for where the smell was coming from. However, Canon kept gazing straight forward as he grabbed a hatchet from a tool shelf just off the side of the door. He hadn't stretched out his hand because he would wanted the hatchet. He had wanted to grab a weapon, any weapon. Why? Canon gazed into the darkness where the naked light bulb couldn't pierce. Then he answered.
ルーレットは数字と赤黒にかけて配当を競い合う。
Okay, we know about Devil Roulette, right? From the Kinzo explanation. But really, this second death doesn't really feel like roulette.
だが赤か黒かのようなリスクの低い賭けはその程度の配当しか与えられない。
True. The words coming from Canon's mouth were swallowed up by the darkness. The darkness suddenly started to swirl, glittering. Okay, he sees butterflies. Sign of Beatrice. It was such a fantastic scene. Golden sparkling butterflies that hid in the shadows all over the boiler room. Flapped their wings, twinkling beautifully and gathering into darkness, disappearing. This is also kinda ironic, isn't it? The beautiful butterflies, like great view, something like that, that fantastic view, did something so fucking horrible in the series. Isn't that ironic? When something beautiful is doing something so... Khan continued speaking directly his words at the darkness as it swallowed the butterflies up. But as the butterflies gathered in the darkness, they perhaps? Probably? No, they would certainly laugh. But Khan continued to speak without fluttering in the slightest.
逆により的中率の低いかけ方をすればそのリスクに比例した配当が与えられる。親方様は天文学的なリスクを的中できることを奇跡と呼び、その結果得られる天文学的な配当を魔法と呼んでいた。親方様とお前がどんな魔法を求めてルーレットに挑んでいるのか、そんなことには興味ない。しかしお前は忘れている。
Oh my god, he's talking back to Beatrice.
ルーレットには赤でも黒でもない目が出うることを。
Okay, that's true. Roulette has a special pocket called Zero, which means what the house take everything in certain variants of the game. This means that all the coins bet on the table will be swept up, just as though everyone has forfeit.
僕は一つだけ心に決めていた。もしシャノンが殺されて僕が生き残るようなことがあったなら、この身を投げ出してお前のルーレットを全て台無しにしてやろうと。
Okay.
これは親方様が決めたルールでも、ましてやお前が決めたルールでもない。このルールは僕が作った。僕はもう家具じゃない。
Okay, I like this change. He's not calling himself furniture. Just don't get self-destruct, Canon, please.
お前のルーレットのゼロなんだ。
Canon faced twisted with humiliation. It was clear that his defiance against his own weakness was being ridiculed somehow. Cannon's brow creased even further, and a fierce expression that he would never shown to anyone appeared on his face. The hand grasping the hatchet was shaking. His sweat became drops, which slid downward. It was clear that the emotion causing Cannon's hands to shake wasn't just anger. However, Cannon suppressed that emotion.
僕はもうお前の言葉に惑わされたりはしない。悪魔のルーレットはこれでおしまいだ。地獄にてさらに1000年、次の召喚者を待つがいい。ベアドリーチェ！
Damn. When Cannon raised his hatchet and tried to dive into darkness, the Darkness definitely sneered. Well, you can't attack darkness. Yeah, he kinda snapped. It sneered at the courage, as if it were vulgar, lazy, futile, and meaningless. Yeah, Beatrice can kill you like any moment. Maybe even next night. I mean next, but like fourth one. What the fuck? That was a jump scare? Wait, what? I heard something, but I was talking. There was some voice like... Oh my god, I have chills! Holy shit! Holy shit! That was really creepy voice. I heard that. Cannon, his hatchet still held aloft. Couldn't take another step after that. With a clang. The hatchet that he would be grasping fell and rolled on the floor. And following that, with a pair of thuds. Cannon knees hit left, then right. That hand, which looked like it was trying to catch the sky now, that the hatchet has been dropped, gradually lowered, landing on his chest. Then the other hand did the same. Wait, how the fuck? Wait, no way. Wait! There's right there a handle with a demon-shaped design was buried into the chest. Beatrice, you're just breaking the rules. You're breaking the rules. There were like supposed to be like two deaths. What the hell? What? Maybe she just decided that if he's not playing with the rules that he's not needed and he can be excluded from the epitaph, so she just killed him. That might be the case. It's basically like, nope, I'm off. I'm not playing by your rules, so whatever. And then she just, so you're not playing with my rules, so yeah, see you in hell, basically. Or there's another possibility that the third night, those who remain shall pronounce my noble name. Basically, the third Twilight is like survival game, and there will be possibilities for many deaths, and only those who survive will, you know, prize her name, or only those who, yeah, only those who will survive. So I still need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 people alive, basically, for the next parts. Okay, that's like, I really like the change in canon. Right there. Like, he challenged the Beatrice. The same type of weapon that he been stabbed into Eva and Hideyoshi foreheads was in canon chest. But he can be together with Shannon now, I guess. What the fuck is this sad song? That hits me. Khan was cool, tapping anguish, fresh blood dripped from the corner of his mouth. It was make up to extreme for Canon white skin. That's irony. Butterflies. That's really irony. Around the scene, the glittering gold butterflies danced through the darkness, mesmerizing. It was a beautiful, beautiful dance, a funeral march of tribute. Ridicule and contempt for a single boy's self-sacrifice. Canon had already been prepared for his own death, but although he could do nothing but accept the death he had received, he attempted one last measure of resistance. He grasped the handle of the weapon, sticking in his chest with both hands, and gritting his teeth with acute unhealthy pain. He pulled it out. That usually means faster death. For only a moment, a bright red spray gushed out. It made an unpleasant plop sound. It probably resembled the sound of Canon's soul as it was sucked into the swamp of the dead.
Canon-san? 誰か
Okay, I wasn't prepared for that. I wasn't prepared for that. And with this music. Kumasawa screamed at the incomprehensible sight in front of her. Kanon was lying in the pool. Blood. Goddammit, I can't read. Kumasawa's head was a complete mess. Yeah, what a horrible fate. He wouldn't have been killed if he had been with him. If I had been with him. What an incredible luck. If I had been with him, I might have been killed too. As she screamed, her expression was filled with complete confusion, and all of the muscles of her face were pulled up, almost though she was smiling while crying. Yeah, she broke. But no one could have fun of an expression like this.
何事ですか、熊沢。返事をしなさい、熊沢。
The first one to dash was Natsuki holding the rifle. Butler and Genji dashed in after her. Normally they would probably start discussing the origin of that violent stench filling the boiler room. But after they saw Kanon, who was lying on the ground, as if he were drowned in the ocean of his own blood, the stench wasn't important anymore.
返事をしなさい。源氏、南條先生をここに。
Natsuki realized that even though Kanon was on the verge of death, he was still conscious, so she sent Genji to get a doctor. Natsuki, holding the rifle aloft, faced the darkness in the center of the boiler room and shouted.
そこに隠れているものは何者です。おとなしく出てきなさい。そちらから出てこないなら容赦なく撃ちます。
ライトだ。おばさん、照らすぜ。
There's no one. Butler, thinking quickly, took a large flashlight from the tool shelf along the door and used that light to go through the darkness Natsuki was glaring into. But the light only shone on the mechanical looking piping in the door. The door had been left open, a small crack, and it was obviously that someone had left through there in a hurry.
夏日おばさん、あの扉はどこへ？
源氏、あの扉はどこに通じているのですか？
中庭です。
逃がすかよ。くそ、この野郎！
Butler let out a war cry as he slammed into the door. Cool air from outside suddenly rushed in. There were some thin, rough stairs leading up. Butler ran up them, shouting.
待ちなさい、バトラ君。一人では危険です。
Natsuki was also rushing up the stairs, chasing after Butler. They were in the courtyard. The courtyard of the mansion had been built strictly for the life purposes, so it wasn't a very elegant place. Because it was surrounded on all sides, the air was calm and completely undisturbed, even though they could hear the sound of strong winds. There was only the gentle, sorrowful rain. As he ran through the cold and scattered raindrops, dashing up the stairs into the courtyard, Butler looked in the very direction. Of course, the odds of him finding Suspicion's lighthouse just standing around nonchalantly were pretty much zero. Butler spun looking all around. He turned again and again. He kept spinning until he almost lost his sense of direction. He prayed that he would see Kurbit somewhere in the scenery, but there was no chance. All he saw as he spun was more and more of the mansion's heartless walls and windows. Furthermore, there were two entrances into the mansion from the courtyard, and neither of them were locked. Because the courtyard couldn't be entered from outside the mansion, the doors had been built without locks. He didn't know which one they had left through. He had to give up. Butler pounded the walls with his fists, swearing.
バトラ君、一人で先走ってはダメです。バトラ君。
Butler pressed his forehead against the wall, which he scratched with his fingernails as he cried.
畜生。畜生。ヘバおばさんに一 秀吉おじさん、さらにカノン君かよ。6人も殺しやがった。飽き足らずさらに3人も殺しやがった。ふざけるな、ふざけるな。エヴァおばさんも秀吉おじさんも昔からいつも優しくしてくれる愉快なおばさんたちだったじゃねえかよ。
Eva wasn't kind. I mean, she was kind. Like, in private? But yeah, okay.
カノン君とは昨日会ったばかりだが、きっとこれから仲良くなれたと思うぜ。
That's true.
なんで殺したんだ。どうしてどうして。
Just because he violated rules, probably. I feel like that's the case.
人ってのはな、殺しちまったらな、二度と生き返らねえんだぞ。
Unless magic exists and you will solve the epitaph, then you will have opportunity to bring everyone back. I mean, there were like only horrible choices, I believe. Let me just... Got only one of them. Okay, but no resurrection, resurrection. Yeah, all choices are bad. You want basically all of them, maybe not the first one. The first one is like least important. But you want all the three here. And you can have them. Judging by the epitaph.
タケノコみてえにひょいひょい生えてきちゃ来ねえんだぞ。どうして殺すんだよ。どうしてどうして。
Butler was a boy who could understand the feeling of pain and regret in a person's heart, so he cried with all his strength. Nazi, who had always thought of Butler as a frank person, was a little surprised to find he had this delicate side. And at the same time, she understood how easily hard the heart of a young person could be, so she held him.
大丈夫です。あなたもジョージ君もマリアちゃんもジェシカも母として、そして後宮家の代表として。
Yeah, isn't she like the only one who can inherit everything now? Yeah, right now she's the head of the family. I mean, technically Kinzo is, but he disappeared. Unless it's George. Because she don't have, you know, the insignia. Butler, after sobbing into Natsuhi's chest for a while, wiped his tears with a bitter smile, as though he had been like that the whole time, and tried to appear as though he would cried more than enough already.
とにかく一度下に戻りましょう。犯人を探すより自分たちの身を守る方が最優先です。明日になれば船が来る。そうすれば警察がやってきて全てを白日のもとにさらし出してくれるでしょう。犯人がどうあがこうともこの島から逃げられるものですか。
そうっすね。警察さえ来れば。
From the seagull's cry, the crime will be solved. But for some reason, Butler felt a slight sense of uneasiness, as if the seagulls would never cry again. That couldn't be true. When the typhoon passes, surely the lively seagulls will return to the harbor again. What if batteries just will kill all the birds? I think I'll end the episode here. This is over 1 hour now. And I feel like this is a good idea to end. Yeah, as I told you, like, in the last episode, this would be like under hour. That was heavy episode. I was prepared for the first part, but that last part hit me. Like, with the song, with the canon change, with his resolve, telling the Beatrice that he's a zero of the roulette that she's playing, that he's basically a house. I don't know. I don't know what to expect anymore. I want to know what the letter is. I feel like this will be another hour, so that's why I'll be ending here. We'll probably have talk about canon here, then we'll go to the room and read the letter. I think that's how it will going to play. So yeah, anyway, thank you for being with me. Like the video if you liked it. Subscribe if you don't already, because that helps the channel. And most important, comment down below. What's your thought about like canon? Like him being the zero, being the house. I liked him. Anyway, thank you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening to me. And I'll see you in the next one. So for now, Pocket Watch is going out.